Ever get that feeling, like when someone's ignoring you and you just know it? Like, haven't heard from them and your brain's like, wait, did I make that up?
Yeah.
We're going deep on that today, especially when it comes to dating. Ugh.
Yeah, it's like a special kind of rejection, isn't it?
The worst. So get this. You said in this YouTube video, title is How to Act When a Woman Ignores You, Destroy Her Ego. Mary Joanna's the advice giver.
Get you?
Right. And full disclosure, we saw that title. We were like, oof, really? But less about the ego destruction, more about why do people even give this advice? What's the psychology there?
Because even if the advice is bad, the fact that it exists is fascinating.
Exactly. Okay, so Mary, point number 1. It doesn't matter why you're being ignored, supposedly. It's your reaction that's key. What do you think? Is she dodging the issue? Or is there wisdom there?
It's trickier than either extreme. So you can overthink someone else's behavior and it gets you nowhere. There's this thing, the illusion of control, where we think we have more power over stuff than we actually do, especially when we're unsure.
So obsessing over why she's not texting back is making it worse.
Exactly. Mary's being blunt, but she's got a point. Focus on what you control your own actions.
Okay, makes sense. Then she goes on about shifting the focus. Instead of chasing this woman, you ignore her. Gym, friends, that stuff.
It's interesting. On the one hand, it sounds like more of the same, no one's talking. But there's this idea, the scarcity principle. We want what we can't have, basically. So you focus on you become the prize, at least in theory.
Hold on, is this the whole playing hard to get thing? Because I thought we were over that.
Kinda, but not really. It's less about games, more about actually being the best version of yourself. When you're happy on your own,
Yeah.
that's attractive.
Okay, so self-improvement, check. But then Mary throws in reverse psychology, like, ignore her back. That's kind of
harsh.
No.
It's a bold move, for sure. Part of it is we notice when something changes. If someone was all over us, then go silent. Our brains are like, hold up, what's different?
So we're wired to be curious, but does that really last? 2 people in silence isn't exactly a rom-com.
Right. And see, Mary says women are used to being chased. Stereotypes aside, the point is, when someone breaks the pattern, we notice.
They stand out.
Exactly. But here's the catch. If the reverse psychology is about control, like you're punishing her, bad news, that's not genuine. It's manipulative.
Intention matters again.
Always. And this ties into her thing about being calm and unbothered, even indifferent, she says, which is a loaded word.
Because is it real or are we faking it till we make it? Big difference.
Exactly. Healthy detachment that's accepting you can't control her versus burying your feelings. One's good, the other not so much.
So how do I know if I'm detached or just like in denial?
Self-awareness is key.
Right.
Are you avoiding her because it hurts too much to think about? Or are you feeling it all, the hurt, the confusion, but choosing to spend your energy elsewhere?
Because you can't just decide to not care, right? It's
Yeah.
got to be deeper.
Right. Healthy detachment isn't denial. It's knowing your worth doesn't depend on her answer or anyone's.
And that brings us to, honestly, the hardest part of what Mary's saying. Detaching from the outcome. Like, be okay with whatever happens, even if it's nothing. Seriously.
Yeah, not easy. We're wired to want connection, so of course we want a response, especially in dating. But think about it. What's behind that need? Is it her, specifically, that we want? Or is it just like proof that someone could want us back?
Whoa. Okay, how do we even separate those things?
Well, Mary talks about seeing yourself as the prize, which already sounds a little self-centered,
Yeah.
but the idea's got something to it. Real detachment, it comes from already feeling secure. It's not that her answer doesn't matter, it's that it doesn't decide your worth.
So someone who's good at this, they'd still be bummed if it didn't work out, but it wouldn't, like, wreck their whole world.
Exactly. They've got that bounce back ability. They know they're okay no matter what one person does, which, by the way, that's attractive in itself, that quiet confidence.
So much to think about for Mary Joanna. Wow. If someone listening had to pick one thing to take away from all this, what's the most important?
Tough one. But I'd say it's this. You only control you. Her actions? Nope. But your reactions, your choices, how you show up for yourself through it all, that's the real win.
And sometimes choosing yourself is the most attractive thing, period.
Totally. It says you've got self-respect, you've got boundaries, you value your time. Those are good things no matter what the dating situation is.
This has been such an interesting deep dive. We covered so much, from scarcity to not being a doormat emotionally.
And we didn't even get into attachment styles, which, now that I think about it, totally applies to Mary's advice. Different deep dive, different day.
Right. So, to everyone out there dealing with the silent treatment, you're not alone. And honestly, sometimes the best thing is to just focus on yourself, growing, getting better. Who knows? It might be exactly what attracts the right people, or you realize you don't need anyone else's approval to begin with. Until next time, keep diving deep.